Without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.
On the road, UVU 2-2 in conference, and if you look at the standings, I mean, UVU is really not out of.
This copy express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.
Tonight, the Wolverines of Utah Valley at home taking on longtime rival TV.
It all comes down to this. Get to the big dance. Be a part of the madness in Las Vegas, March 11th to 14th. Go all 15 WAC men's and women's basketball tournament. Tickets on sale now at OrleansArena.com.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It is about having respect for your opponents.
Dignity. It's fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Welcome to the UCCU Center on the campus of Utah Valley State, the Cougars. Two teams so far sort of struggling in this early part of the WAC conference season. Hello again, everybody. Jim McCullough. Maybe a year they want to have, and now all of a sudden they're going head-to-head.
Yeah, I think what you really have to have is you got to keep fighting. You know, you never really know what game is for the rest of the conference, so you have to just keep fighting, trust your coaches, trust the game plan, and hope that it turns your way.
Yeah, Chicago State hasn't won a game on the road. Only one game out in the loss column to New Mexico State, and UVU actually has the tiebreaker over Seattle. Kansas City coming in here on set. So really, it's
your home games at your place.
Right.
And so that place is even more important because the Wolverines are going to have to travel on the road to play.
Wolverines, Matt.
Yeah, Dante Williams. I've been so impressed with how he's played lately. So he's one of the key players. Mitch Brunel, the other. Strong. He's been a real stud for the Wolverines lately, and Mitch Brunel has carried them on offense for most of the year. So we'll see how these two players
started 13 different players this season. They're just looking for a couple of guys that can do some magic.
Yeah, absolutely. Clark Rosenberg, he's a senior guard. He leads them per game, but you see it's kind of a guard matchup, and a lot of what Chicago State does is going to be driven by the guard play. So how the Wolverines match up with these two players.
So Matt Peterson's keys to victory for Utah Valley.
Yeah, you've got to have a very strong bench performance. We've come to expect and know what the boards, both offensively and defensively. A lot of life for the Wolverines when they attack on offense. And they've got to be taking a good shot, being unselfish, and then they've got to get to the free throw line. When the Wolverines can get to the line, they can get some easy early opportunities.
Utah Valley 7-11, Chicago State 4-17. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, your starting lineups and your opening tip. Coming up next right here from more. Utah Davis at point guard for the Wolverines. Dante Williams at shooting guard. Mitch Brunel at power forward. Zach Nelson at the other forward spot. The fourth different starting lineup that Coach Dick Hunsaker has used this season, but the fifth straight game, Matt Peterson, that these five have started.
Players have got a lot of playing time. They've started a lot of games. I think the coaches, the players, us, everybody that's watched the Wolverines are becoming know what to expect from them.
Batson and Clark Rosenberg, they're averaging 58 points a game. That's dead last in the WAC offensively. But you know what? UVU, 7th in the WAC thing. That just means they're deliberate in what they do.
Yeah, I think so. You look at both teams, how they play. This is not the first time that Coach Hunsaker and Coach Dildy have played against them. And as you said, it's how they play. They're very deliberate. They know what they want to try and get on offense.
Actually, it's the 15th time that these two have met. UVU a couple years ago in the Great West Conference Tournament up in Chicago with Chicago State winning. Not many players from UVU left from 2 years ago. Foul quickly.
Pretty aggressive defense to start from Chicago State in a man-to-man, and you see the size advantage. That see if the Wolverines trying to exploit that, get some post-ups inside, some touches for their big guys.
Chicago State 6'4", 6'5", 6 foot, 6'4".
Inside, really nice job. Boston taking his time. Knew he had the size advantage, knocked down the jumper. Good start for him.
Well, the Wolverines of Utah Valley draw first blood. Not so good against Grand Canyon at home here on their last home game. On the run, Mitch Brunel stripped away. With a flourish on that one, I'm sure.
Terrific start. Nice hands, getting the deflection. Marcel doing a nice job of pushing that ball off of the turnover.
Dante Williams, one of your key players in this game. No shot for him. Marcel driving. This one's going to be against Joshua Meyer. And that's his second foul already.
Yeah, real quick fouls. It's doing some switching on their defensive possessions, but you had, for whatever reason, the big guys, so to speak, inside for Chicago State, Joshua Meyer, his active drives.
(3-0) Utah. Chicago State looking for their first points of the evening. Palmer lost the handle momentarily.
You see what Chicago State's done here, Jim. Their first few possessions were man-to-man defense. They're now going to a zone, probably to try and stop those drives.
Wow, nice feed, Boston Googler to Marcel Davis.
And that was very interesting. I think Chicago State switched into a man backdoor cut, easy layup.
Batson misses the jumper for Chicago State. Wide open. Zach Nelson, Chicago State calls a quick timeout to put a stop to that. Nothing more frustrating than going on the road and watching the home team just come out lightning.
This game, Chicago, they're guards slash forward positions. They don't really have a presence inside, and on their early offensive possessions, they're not really trying to post anybody up on the ball screens. And the Wolverines have done a tremendous job of defending it. So you have to have good help. You also have to have really good on-ball defense, and the Wolverines have had that.
Here in this WAC contest. Long jumper, Sean Hill. Missed that one.
The Wolverines can keep Chicago State out of the paint. That would be terrific advantage for them. Chicago State on the year is only a 29% three-point shooter.
During that timeout, called for the foul.
Yeah, flex screen looked like being set on the baseline, Alex. A little bit of
Flex screen?
Yeah, it's kind of the flex offense as you're going to get another foul here, I think, on Dante. Yeah, flex screen where you have a man in the corner, a man. Alex was called, there's the forearm there that Dante got called for.
Back to live action.
Fouls.
Marcel Davis being called for the foul. Basket will count. Well, Chicago State finally on the board. 16:26 to play first half.
This game was going to be about driving, the driving offense that Chicago State wants to run, and defending the drive. How well can...
I'm guessing they saw the film from Saturday night's game in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where UVU just had all sorts of trouble getting the ball across midcourt during the first half.
Yeah, some really good screening. Boston Gubler set a couple really nice screens. Zach Nelson set one. I believe Alex Carr set one as well. Really good job of screening Marcel. Wolverines switch as they give up the long three there from Jared Demakis. But the Wolverines played a 2-3 zone, so they had initially been playing that man-to-man. They switched to the 2-3.
And just like that, Boston Kubler has tied his career high. I mean, he's just a freshman. He's only started 5 games. Had 4 points against Texas Pan Am. He's got 4 already tonight.
There isn't going to be a play drawn up where Boston has an isolation at the free throw line, but what a terrific move. Great skill.
Highlight reel, Boston Gubler, jumper 3, Dante.
Been good for both teams, I think. Chicago State switching up their defenses. Kind of in a man, may switch to a zone.
Marcel takes it in.
Did put some spin on it, helped it get off the glass. He almost tipped that in, but again, Marcel hurting Chicago State with his driving ability.
He's already got 7. Waiting for this one to start.
He sure looks like it.
Wolverines with the rebound. 2. That'll bring us to our first media timeout of the evening. Utah Valley right now out in front by 8.
Isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and
Championship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It's fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
I can't count how many times I've heard people say that. And as a math teacher, I take it personally. So, while working on my master's at UVU, do the math.
Not Lightning, 6 out of 8 shooting, is 75%.
I was talking to you and made the comment a little bit earlier that you just look at that line, quote, big guy, unquote, in the game, and that has really helped the Wolverines. And you see Marcel being so aggressive, pushing it, driving it into the paint. 8-player, you see that, there's not really a shot blocker. There's not someone who's going to contest my shot. If I can break down the original defender, I don't have anybody really in there that's going to found the balance between those two.
That foul was on Anthony Glover of Chicago State. It was his first. So Marcel Davis had it from Zach Nelson and 4 from Boston Gubler.
And I really like how UVU is pushing the ball in transition. If you could get a rebound off of a long 3 or a turnover, your outlet passes near the half-court line, and you're off and running.
Now, I know Dante Williams' mom is probably thinking, he didn't say anything about my son. I didn't jinx him, okay? I didn't say, oh, wow, look, it gets pretty physical inside. Chicago State back 16 seconds on their shot clock.
And on the flip side, when you go with a guard-heavy lineup like you're coming up, just timing his jump, it's really hard for smaller guys, guards, to be inside and to score if you have, a shot blocker or the threat of a shot blocker inside, which the Wolverines.
5 seconds to shoot. Wow, long NBA 3 won't go. Brendan Evans.
Yeah, good job of the initial defense causing the shot clock a long 3 with 2 seconds left. For the inside players so far for Chicago State, I think Tesmer's probably going to see some good minutes here.
14 fouls against UVU, 3 against Chicago State. Jumper outside won't go. Turnaround jumper won't go. Got his rebound and got hammered to the floor. That one's going to go against Sean Hill of Chicago State. That'll be his first. I mentioned earlier, he's started 13 different players, but he's played 18 different players this season. It's astounding how many kids have seen action for the Cougars as he's...
The struggles that they've had, you do whatever you can, try and find whatever works for you.
Mitch Brunel took it away, starts to drive in, set up the offense. 7 minutes gone in this one, it's 15-6.
going to go a 1-4 flat here.
On Chicago State. Jesse Tessmer.
Nice crossover move here from Dante, sizing up for Dante. We've seen that set a couple times. I believe that's the second time. Marcel had it a little bit earlier when he had a switch out up top, and the Wolverines just go with a ton of space to create, and the Wolverines have had some success with that set so far.
Maybe I jinx Dante when I don't talk about his free throw shooting. By 10, it's their biggest lead here in the first half. They haven't trailed as they jumped out early, 8-0. Nice move.
Really nice finish there from DeMacos. Chicago State no longer going to put Marcel with the open shot here, but Brendan Evans going to get a foul called, I believe. That's going to be on Clark Rosenberg. You look at this with the smaller lineup, like we said, it's a great opportunity to pound the glass. That was one of our keys of the game. You know, attack the boards. You have size, just get in.
Some triple teamed inside, and somebody reached in and got him on the arm. A foul against Kirk Karras. The official, Karras had his back to the official, and that's what happened. You get called and you got your back to the guy.
This was one of the other. 12 minutes left in the first half, and the Wolverines are already in the bonus every time they get fouled. So that just tells me, as a player, if I get fouled, I'm at the line. The aggressiveness can pick up here.
UVU's last 4 points have come from the Chicago State. Cuts it to 8.
And DeMacos there with another aggressive drive. They're getting him the ball on the wings. Being very aggressive on offense, coming off a lot of screens, trying to get to the rim. He's converted some baskets for Chicago State.
Wolverines haven't trailed yet. They lead by 8.
Myself as just an undergrad. Okay, so I'm a sophomore, but I'm at UVU where it's all about engaged learning. Leading as a UVU student, I guess you could say engaged learning is in my DNA.
Fourteen teams battle their way through the bracket for a chance to punch their ticket to the big dance. Be a part of the madness in Las Vegas, New Orleans Arena. The 2015 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. Tickets on sale now at orleansarena.com.
Despite that, they still have an 8-point lead over Chicago State because Chicago State yet to really warm up. Just 28% shooting on 4 of 14. Kansas City comes in here, and it's going to be a very late start compared to what UVU fans are used to. 8:30 start Saturday night because it's televised by the new Americans. We'll do radio only that night.
Sounds great.
You don't have to wear a tie or anything.
That's even better.
Or you can just forget it like I did. Rosenberg. Alex Carr with the rebound. Marcel Davis. Seems like to me they're calling this pretty darn close, Matt.
Yeah, they are. You know, especially in the Wolverines' favor so far. Nice pass here from Marcel. Good, strong move. Alex did a nice job of probing the defense early on, passing it ahead to Marcel, pushing the action. And I've seen a lot of times Chicago State has collapsed over the bigs for UVU.
Dayon missed it, so it's 18. It remains 18-10.
A lot of
for Chicago State.
Yeah, you get Alex Carr.
Another foul on Alex. That's going to be number 2. First Wolverine with 2.
And I say perimeter oriented, become in the paint, but what they do is they get a lot of space on the perimeter, get it into their guards, and they're doing a lot of on-ball screens and double screens, and then they get space and creating space for their guys on the perimeter in various ways. And then they're just driving when the opportunity presents itself.
Jaden Jackson being whistled on UVU. So now all of a sudden we've still got almost 11 minutes left. No telling how many free throws we're going to end up with.
Chicago State going back to this pressure. I think UVU's done a terrific job of handling it.
Davis again takes it to the hole, dishes off to Goodman. He goes right up, missed it. Chicago State on the run the other way.
Watch their offense here. They're getting their guards out on the perimeter. On-ball screens, just creating a ton of space. You get the ball into the high post.
It's the shooter's bounce to go down. And it's a 6-0 run for Chicago State. UVU led 18-8.
Bounce play here to Brennan.
And Coach Dick Hunsaker is pretty much aware of what's going on. And here comes 4 starters back into the game.
When they came in, I think Coach probably senses a little bit of momentum building for Chicago State. Once again.
3 starters out there for Chicago State right now.
There from Zach Nelson. He did a wonderful job of setting himself and allowing Marcel to come off of him. Number 10, Kurt Karras, gets knocked off that they're having. And by extending their pressure, they themselves are becoming pretty aggressive, and a little too aggressive. They're getting
stops that 6-0 run.
Wolverines now switching up their defense back to the 2-3.
Nine points already for Marcel Davis.
So the Wolverines call a set to run it against a zone. They're struggling a little bit because when Chicago State switches to the man, the Wolverines then have to change their play call.
Wolverines' first turnover of the night cost them 2 points. You jumped out 8-0. Has led this entire first half. Zach Nelson, he gets the bounce.
Yeah, want to see a little bit more size advantage. Nice job of posting up, keeping the defender behind him, never allowing him to get around in front in a strong finish.
Rosenberg. DeMarcos dishes off. Contact, no call, no foul called. Collided, no call at all. Three-pointer won't go for Karras.
Let's see if they switch to this man. They're in a zone right now. Let's see if they, at some point in this possession, switch to the man-to-man. They've done it multiple times.
Brunel for 3.
Get tired. We've had a lot of back-to-back action. The Wolverines have made some subs. Chicago State hasn't.
Well, altitude does get to some teams that come in here. 12 minutes away. Jumper outside. DeMarcos for 3. And now we're back to calling everything. That foul against Chicago State. Kurt Karras. Right here on UVU TV.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college and then there's someone else do it. This is
a lot where the officials go to the monitor, and usually it's looking at.
Here's the play. I mean,
from what I saw, Jim, that was not the play that they were reviewing, though. They were reviewing a play for Chicago State on Chicago State's end.
Matt Peterson just jumped off headset to run down to see what play it is they're looking at. It was not the one that we're showing here, evidently, because the officials are still huddled up at midcourt, trying to agree on what happened and what they're going to do about it. I'm not so sure it's not going to be a flagrant foul on somebody here. 25-19 the score. UVU out in front by 6. Now they are calling both head coaches over. As soon as Matt gets back on headset, he'll have an explanation, I think, for us. This is kind of a surprise, I think, to both head coaches. Boy, oh boy. Well, whichever coach is angriest, you'll know what the call is. Looked like to me that official just put up his elbow and said it hit somebody in the mouth. And he's talking to Tracy Dildy, head coach Chicago State, there on the left side of your screen. That's Dick Hunsaker on the right. Coach Hunsaker hasn't said a word. This call's going against Chicago State. This is when you kind of like to have a mic on the official, wouldn't you? Well, maybe not, because you might pick up some things from the coaches you might not want to really hear. All right, Matt Peterson's back on headset with hopefully an explanation.
Well, they were reviewing a play at the 7:43 mark. Inside rebound. Boston Gubler on Chicago State's end had inside position, and number 35.
This is not the play.
Yeah, this is not the play. It was back about the 7:43 mark. I believe it was Clark Rosenberg is what they said inside. That's the play that they were looking at and reviewing, where Boston was hit in the face and kind of had a reaction after he was hit. So this is what they're reviewing. I heard the word flagrant foul, so I think they're going to call a flagrant foul and have Boston shoot free throws.
All right, that's too bad that they're, the play happened a minute ago in the game action. A minute ago. Waiting to find out what the heck's happening here. Still got 6:47 to play in the first half. UVU has not trailed here, leading by 6. Yeah, we're trying to find it in the control room, find that play too. It's not one of those plays you automatically queue up, for a replay.
No, it wasn't. Boston got hit. I think they're going to call a flagrant foul. I've been wrong lately, though, so I better just wait for the official announcement.
No. A delay this long, it better be something.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's don't.
Yeah, they're looking at it again.
And again and again and again, evidently. Now you see Coach Tracy Dildy explaining his point of view. All right, I think we might be getting close to getting back to action. Good heavens.
Yeah, they're gonna get Boston shooting some free throws.
Clark Rosenberg called for the foul, right?
Yep. At least that's my understanding, and I think we're going to get an announcement here in just a second.
Gubler misses the free throw, and why not? Everybody's been standing around for 10 minutes. Boston missed them both. Okay, well, shoot till you make one, Boston, please.
So he was fouled on the previous play, right? So these must be his free throws because he was fouled on the previous play on the dish off from Marcel, right? Because he's shooting 4 free throws.
It's like we're at the state fair watching somebody just, shoot the ball. Do you win like a stuffed animal or something here?
That's going to be UVU ball.
1 of 4, and it'll be UVU basketball.
Ball underneath.
You don't expect Boston to be a great free throw shooter. He was only 1 of 2 coming into this game. He just took 4, tonight. And that's set right there.
But that was a big play, and they're still communicating. One of the referees is still talking to Coach Hunsaker, but big break there for the Wolverines. Good chance to get some easy points, and they get the possession too after the foul. So great opportunity for UVU here.
All right, now we're going to play. Zach Nelson, left-hand turnaround.
Great delivery from Marcel. Didn't catch the screening action inside, but that was a very smooth transition for Zach, turning over to his left hand.
Ten-second shot clock. DeMarcos for 3.
Yeah, and that's one thing that will kill a zone. Is a very long skip pass like that. Marcel had a long way to go from the free throw line down to the wing.
Boston Gubler cannot get that one to go down either. Zach Nelson tied up inside with Joshua Meyer. Meyer wrestled away, and we're going to walk back down to the other end after the foul on Zach Nelson.
The thing that you're going to see here too from the officials is you get, it's just a foul. There's nothing intentional there, but with that flagrant foul being called,
Yeah.
You're going to get the officials, on top of everything. Any action after the fact like that, they're going to be stepping in. They're going to not let anything escalate or get out of hand because of that flagrant foul that was called.
But it just seems to slow the game down, and
it does.
It's not fun to watch.
They're going to be aware of it because they have to be. They don't want anything else to happen. But I'm not sure the intention that Clark Rosenberg had on the foul, but the officials are going to call this extra tight.
This is as close as Chicago State has been all night, since it was 10-6 at least. Backcourt pressure. Now they call it off. Under 6 minutes to play first half. Turnover. Zach Nelson threw it right into the hands of Johnny Griffin.
Johnny Griffin, really nice job of, I'm going to get a timeout here from Coach Hunsaker, but a nice job of denying up top. I'm not sure Zach realized that Johnny Griffin was there denying that ball, because there was no chance for that to get through. And Johnny Griffin with the finish in transition. 7
straight points for Chicago State has pulled them to within 2 of Utah Valley. UVU came in here on the season averaging 13 turnovers a game. And by the way, I haven't talked about this yet, but Chicago State, folks, they are the number 15 team in the nation in steals per game.
Yeah.
They average 8.6 steals a game, and there was one right there.
Yeah, and so far, the Wolverines have done a terrific job of taking care of the ball. That's only their 2nd turnover, and Chicago State only has 2 turnovers. So, that was a point of emphasis coming into the week, because what Chicago State will do is they're going to be in the passing lanes. They're pressing. They're also going to gamble. They're also going to take chances to come up with steals. So Wolverines have to be aware of that. And you see it there. You don't often see a big guy like Brennan Evans being defended or being denied way beyond the 3-point line like that. But that's why they get all those steals.
Wolverines having a little struggle tonight with the Cougars. Looked like they were going to run away with it early. Dante Bottom.
Yeah, confident shot there. I think Dante knew that ball was going up as soon as it touched his hands. Great rotation, ball movement around the perimeter. Confident shot.
Dante's got 5. Feels like a ball game all of a sudden, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That was a big shot for UVU because they had struggled. Chicago State had the momentum. Let's see if the Wolverines can come up with a turnover or a stop here and pull the momentum back into their favor.
Whoa, NBA 3 to beat the shot clock. Did not hit the rim, so that will be a shot clock violation.
Yeah, that's another great defensive possession. That's the 2nd time that Democracy has had to launch up a really long 3 at the end of the shot clock. It's so hard to defend. It really is. So when you see a couple shot clock violations, you know that the defense is on their game, because it's not easy to defend a team for a full 35 seconds.
Marcel fouled on his way into the lane. I believe it was Batson.
Every time Marcel touches that ball, if he doesn't have an open shot, he's thinking, I'm going to drive. See here, thought about switching it, but you see that open area in the lane there.
It wasn't much.
No, I think they called it out a little bit further out, but especially with the rule changes that have been implemented, where you put a hand on, you put a forearm on.
Yeah,
that's an automatic foul.
Marcel Davis into double figures. He's got 11 now.
Well, 4 minutes left here. It's going to be vital and important for UVU to string together some good defensive possessions. Go into the half on a high note.
Hanging jumper, Glover. Marcel Davis tried to get it over to Zach Nelson, over his head, turnover. That'll bring us to a timeout, UVU. Wow, nursing a 5-point lead here in Orem, Utah. (33-28), Utah Valley on top of Chicago State. Glad you're with us here on UVU TV. Mentioned earlier, UVU's next game will not be a UVU TV game. That's Saturday night, just 48 hours from now. Kansas City will be in here for an 8:30 tip. It'll be on American sports networks. Check your local listings, as they say in the biz, as to where you might be able to see that one. Or if you just want to listen to the always interesting Matt Peterson, tune in on the radio or on Wolverine Green, and you can listen to us. There you go. Listen to us and watch American Sports Network. Probably won't be synced up, but what the heck?
Be worth it. Jim, a couple things that stand out to me for UVU. They're shooting the ball great. They're 10 of 20 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line, and they've got to the line 17 times. They're 10 of 17 from the free throw line. Just watching, it doesn't look like they seem to have the flow that they need on their offense. It's been stagnant at times. I think you give some credit to Chicago State in switching up their defenses, but just doesn't seem like the Wolverines have had their normal flow on offense, and they've shot the ball well. So if they can couple the shooting with running their sets, getting into a little bit of a rhythm, I think that'll really help them.
But once again, Matt, we see that UVU doing a great job against Chicago State's leading scorer, in this case Clark Rosenberg, scoreless.
Yeah,
came in there averaging 11 points a game. But it's DeMarcos who averages 5 points a game, and he's already got 15.
Yeah, we see that so much, don't we? We see it where a player, we come into a game, and you have a player that has a terrific game out of nowhere, and DeMarcos has kept Chicago State in the game. He's played terrific.
Hey, he's got 15 of their 28 points. Just a 5-point Utah Valley lead. Chicago State trying to cut it a little closer on this possession. Baseline.
Yeah, stepped out of bounds. Unusual possession there as that ball got dumped inside. Haven't seen too many post passes to a player inside. One stat that really jumps out to me, Chicago State on the year has attempted 439 threes. They've only made 127 of them, but that equates to 21 a game. So far they've only shot 10, so they're just about at their average, but turnover there.
Chicago State basketball.
Yeah, Wolverines just struggling to get this ball in. See, that's why Chicago State has steals. They're around the ball. They're pressuring the ball. They're not allowing easy passes. They're trying to deny a lot of opportunities, and this press has caused some problems.
Wow, Sean Hill pulls the Cougars to within 3. This crowd's awfully quiet. Mitch Brunel, speaking of quiet, missed it. Tip won't go. Chicago State's Hill comes away with it. That was kind of an awkward looking play inside. Sean Hill crashing to the floor.
And they're calling a travel.
Wow.
A lot of players around the ball. This was good defense here from Dante. Brennan comes over with the help. Yeah, there was no Wolverine player touched that ball. Zach took a good swipe at it, but he didn't hit it. I think that was the right call there. Officials collaborating.
4 turnovers for each of these teams. Zach Nelson back up and in.
Again, hurting him inside. Marcel with the drive. You know, Zach and Brendan and Boston, when they're in that game, they're going to be able to clean up a lot of those offensive rebounds and have some good looks for some putbacks.
Zach hasn't missed a shot yet. He's got 11 points. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Glover misses the three. Dante Williams with the rebound for UVU. Dante takes a long three, and he's fouled on it. He'll get to shoot 3 free throws. Wow, that was NBA plus about 2 feet.
Yeah, absolutely. Dante pushed the action in transition. Yeah, no, clearly a foul there.
Johnny Griffin.
Yeah, Johnny Griffin, not going vertical, falling down on Dante, but you know, good to see Dante get rewarded because he pushed the action in transition. You know, nice dish off to Zach right at the top, and he just simply spaced out to the wing, found an open area, and got the ball back.
For Griffin, his first. That was the 13th team foul against Chicago State. They've got 4 players with 2 fouls each, and 5 other players with 1 each.
Great sign for UVU. 20 free throws after this one and counting in the first half. So critical free throws from Dante.
Yeah, and Saturday against New Mexico State, they had 6 in the whole game, and all 6 came from Dante Williams. He made all 6, by the way.
And you can see why, because I mean, the way that he's playing to draw fouls, and when he gets to the line, he's knocking them down.
Glover connects. 6-point lead for UVU with about 1:10 to go.
Coach Dildy calling out a ton of different numbers for their defense. This is, I heard him calling 54, I've heard him call 11, I've heard him call 12. Doing a lot of different things.
Too confusing?
Not for his team, but maybe for the Wolverines and recognizing it.
5 seconds to shoot. Marcel Davis all the way to the rack.
Yeah, great job of Marcel staying active, not settling for just catching the ball in the perimeter. He knew he had beaten his defender, had him on his hip, and really nice job of curling down the lane line for the layup.
Marcel's got 13 points. Long rainbow three won't go. Marcel Davis, a little foul as Brendan Evans got tied up that time with Trayvon Palmer. Foul's going to go against Palmer of Chicago State.
I think it was those two that were battling. You see, absolutely see Brendan doing a nice job of creating contact on Palmer.
Good, yes.
I'm surprised they're not looking at that, because when you see Palmer here, I mean, I understand him reaching over Brendan to go for the ball, but
wow,
you know, when he grabbed him around the neck.
Palmer a little frustrated maybe. He's scoreless tonight. Came in here averaging 7.5 points a game and a team high 5.1 rebounds. He's only had 1 rebound in the first half.
And you know, one thing we know about Brendan, he's not afraid to get in there and mix it up.
That's for sure.
Nothing dirty. He gets physical. You saw that replay. That's exactly how Brendan plays. You know, that shot goes up from the wing. You know, he's not just standing in the paint looking up waiting for the ball. He went and found the defender, found Trayvon Palmer, put his body on him. That was textbook for how you rebound. You create the contact and get the inside body position.
14-6 run for UVU. We'll see if Chicago State, who looks like they're playing for the last shot, can cut this 10-point lead down. And what else? Shot will count. DeMarcos has 17 points in the first half. And what else? Brendan Evans with the foul.
You know, DeMarcos has done it a couple ways. He's 3 of 5 from the three-point line. He's 7 of 9 from the field. This will be his first free throw. But you know, when he's not shooting a three, that play is exactly what he's trying to do. He's a driver. He's done that multiple times, going to his strong hand. He hasn't once driven to the left. He goes to his right hand, draws contact, and just about every finish that he's had, it's been off the backboard. 4 seconds left. See if the Wolverines can get a good shot.
Dante can hit from here. Oh, just shy. That's how we'll send him to the locker room. That was a pretty interesting finish on that one. 42-35 at halftime here at the UCCU Center. Wolverines of Utah Valley led the entire first half, and they lead at halftime by 7.
People talk about life after college, you know, entering the real world. But this is engaged learning. I'm not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. I'm learning by doing. I'm at UVU. I'm in the real world every day.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It is about having respect for your opponents, the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It's fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
Back at the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah, UVU leading Chicago State at halftime, 42-35. It's a pretty entertaining first half. Matt Peterson, UVU looked like they were going to run away with it, quite frankly, for a while there when they were up by 10, and all of a sudden Chicago State came roaring back to cut it to within 2. Then things got a little chippy, a lot of fouls, a lot of physicality going on. What do you expect? Well, your analysis of the first half, and then tell me what you think the second half's going to look like.
Yeah, I think the first half, you did have the physicality. You had a lot of free throws shot, a lot of fouls being committed, and I thought both teams struggled a little bit to get into any type of a rhythm. You know, the Wolverines have 42 points, Chicago State 35, so they scored points, but I think a lot of it was at the free throw line. Neither team could really establish anything on offense as far as rhythm goes and momentum. It was kind of back and forth, you know. The Wolverines stretched it out. They couldn't keep it stretched out. Chicago State fought back in it. So I look in the second half, I look for a lot of, a lot more physicality.
Which means probably a lot more fouls?
Probably, more free throws.
Great.
But to me, it's all about Jared DeMarco so far. 18 points for him. he has been the catalyst for Chicago State, and the Wolverines haven't found an answer for him yet. So he's really been the one that's driven Chicago State to where they are right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the score sheet. DeMacos has 18. The next closest player for Chicago State is Sean Hill with just 5 points. It's a one-man wrecking crew right now.
Yeah, and you had some good offense from UVU. Marcel Davis, 13 points. Zach Nelson, 11 points. So it's good to see them active. But it's got to be a team effort from both sides. The Wolverines did a terrific job holding Clark Rosenberg. No points. And he was the one called for that flagrant foul. So they've done a good job of keeping the leading scorers on the season for Chicago State, in check so far. It's just been Jared DeMacos has led the charge.
And I don't know if we should talk about the fouls that much, but it was kind of uneven. Chicago State called for 14. UVU called for just 8. Yeah,
I mean, I think that the way that the UVU Wolverines played, I think that was pretty indicative as far as how the fouls were called. I thought UVU was being a lot more aggressive on offense, but it is what it is. Can't change the fouls that were called.
Well, fans, you can see some of the stats there. Field goal shooting, Chicago State, that 13 of 30 represents 43%. UVU a tad bit better at 46%. Three-pointers, both teams hit 3. Free throws, though, because of all those fouls called against Chicago State, UVU's outscored them by 9 just from the free throw line, and 4 block shots already for Chicago State.
That's amazing. The Wolverines 22 free throws, 26 field goal attempts. It's not often that you see your free throws match your field goal attempts. So that's a good sign. If I'm Coach Hunsaker, I'm saying that's awesome because it puts Chicago State in foul trouble. That will come into play later on in the game. And what it does is it gives your team easy opportunities, easy buckets, easy chance for points.
I might have missed it. Did 15 points off Chicago State's bench compared to just 2 for UVU. We're going to take a quick break. More halftime coming back after this one. Utah Valley leading Chicago State 42-35.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
It all comes down to this. 14 teams battle their way through the bracket for a chance to punch their ticket to the big dance. Be a part of the madness in Las Vegas, March 11th to 14th. Go all in and witness who goes home a champion at Orleans Arena. The 2015 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. Tickets on sale now at OrleansArena.com.
Back at the UCCU Center, Wolverines of Utah Valley leading the Chicago State Cougars 42-35. Hey, we have a special guest stopping by our sideline booth here at halftime. This is Greg Williams, head wrestling coach here at Utah Valley. I love it when you stop by because I don't get to go see many wrestling matches, so you're like my only update on what's going on. How's the season going, my friend?
Well, the season's going good. We just had a pretty nice win over Air Force.
Wow, nice.
But we've got a younger team this year. We've got some good experience at the lower weights, and at heavyweight we have some returning guys who've gone to nationals a couple times. So some good leadership, but the guys are working hard, and trying to progress to try to get more guys to nationals this year.
Now, when you say a younger team, like a lot of freshmen that you brought in, or guys that are back from LDS missions, or all of the above?
A little bit of both of those. We've had more new guys in the lineup, new starters.
Wow.
A couple of first-year freshmen who haven't redshirted, and in wrestling, that redshirt year really helps you, but we're just in a position where we needed to wrestle them this year. We'll redshirt them next year.
All right, now, somebody told me there's a couple of really big matches coming up. Is that this weekend?
Yeah, it's, tomorrow night and Saturday. We have number 20 ranked Oregon State tomorrow night, and then Stanford at 3:30 on Saturday. They're ranked 25.
Wow.
So
excellent. So what's the chances for UVU fans to come out and see some upsets, I guess it would be, on both tomorrow and Saturday?
See some great wrestling, yeah. Stanford and Oregon State both are solid all the way through their lineup, and with our better guys, we're going to be real competitive. Some of the weights where they're ranked, and we got a newer guy. I wouldn't necessarily expect an upset, but the main thing is we want to see our guys go out and fight, no matter who they're wrestling. Just keep progressing, scoring in the third period, getting stronger as the match goes on.
So, as a head coach, tell me what the goal is. Is it to win the match, or is it to get the guys ready to go to nationals?
Postseason is everything for wrestling. It's trying to get as many guys to nationals as possible, trying to get guys on the podium. We're not really worried about our dual record. It's just the main thing is getting guys to nationals. That's what they're here for.
All right, I'm going to try to get there tomorrow night. So tell me the studs that I need to look for UVU.
125, Chasen. And we've got Chasen Tolbert at 25, Jade Rouser at 33, and our heavyweight Adam Fager. All three ranked in the top 33. All three have a good chance to go to nationals.
Heavyweight Adam Fager. Can I take him?
Good luck with that.
Really? How heavy is he when you say heavyweight?
About 270.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And he's pretty solid.
Coach Greg Williams, hey, I really am going to try to stop by, my friend.
Good, it'll be some good wrestling.
And quite frankly, we could use some wrestlers, I think, in this second half. Did you see how physical it was getting?
Yeah. Well, wrestlers are really good for designated foulers, so we're good.
Exactly, we might need you. Greg Williams, head wrestling coach here at UVU.
Okay.
Good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Good to see you. We're going to take another quick break. Back with your second half. UVU leading 42-35.
People talk about life after college, entering the real world. But this is engaged learning. I'm not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. I'm learning by doing. I'm at UVU. I'm in the real world every day.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
Lots of people have ideas.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like
helped me
there's
develop
college,
my
and then
idea
there's
and make it
the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day. People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day. People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day. People talk about college college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
Again, set to start our second half here at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley with a 7-point lead over Chicago State. Utah Valley, by the way, 6-1 on the season when leading at halftime. Chicago State has not won a game on the road this season. I don't think we've talked too much about that, Matt, but quite frankly, they're hanging tough here on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be vital for UVU to start the second half with a ton of life, a ton of energy, because you almost want to give Chicago State no hope because, as you said, it'd be a new experience for them winning on the road, and you know that they know that. You know that they have that in their mind, that they haven't won a game on the road, and this is a great opportunity for them. So the Wolverines have to come out strong.
Especially that man right there, Zach Nelson.
Yeah, he's had a great game. He's kind of been under the radar here. As you mentioned, perfect all over. 4 of 4 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He's got 5 rebounds, and he needs to be that influence, and he needs to be the impact because he's got a size advantage, he's got a skill advantage inside. Boston's had a lot of really.
The clock itself shows 15 minutes rather than 20 minutes.
Sorry if you heard me saying that. I stood up right as I noticed that. They had just 15 minutes on the clock.
Now they fixed it, but well, there we go.
They were thinking of the halftime. That's what they put on. That's what they put on for halftime. Was 15 minutes.
You should be a coach because nothing gets by you. I wouldn't have noticed that for who knows how long.
I like doing that detective work. That was fun in the first half, going over there finding out what was going on.
The official's going to throw you out of the game one of these times. Stick your nose in those huddles.
You'd have to do the show all by yourself.
I can't do that.
You like that?
No.
Right,
you are the glue, my friend. Demakos missing off the bat. Utah Valley coming back the other way.
Yeah, one of the first times we've seen Demakos go to his left. Good defense there from Zach. He's not as comfortable going to his left as he is to his right.
Boston Gubler. Wow. If they're going to call it that close, well, never mind.
Joshua Meyer, he only played 6 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. First offensive possession, 30 seconds down. What does he get? He gets another foul. So
he's got 3. UVU forced to
call a timeout.
42-35 the score. We'll stay here for this. The first coach's timeout of the second half always becomes a 60-second timeout, so we'll stay here and analyze this one a little more to death if we can. Marcel Davis 13 points, Zach Nelson 11, Dante Williams 8, 5 points from Boston Gubler, Brendan Evans 2 off the bench, Brunel with 3. Mitch Brunel, very quiet night. Very quiet.
He has had a quiet night, something that we're not accustomed to. I think it's a lot to do with Marcel and what we've talked about with him and Zach getting the ball out. I look for Mitch to be a little bit more aggressive here, and I think he's got 3 shots, so not his normal attempts, but I think he'll be a little more forceful when he gets the opportunity.
A lot of folks have asked me if I think Zach Nelson is suffering from sophomore jinx, because he had a phenomenal freshman year last year.
Yeah,
was on the newcomer team, all WAC newcomer team, and played a pivotal role for UVU, winning the regular season WAC championship. This year, he was preseason second team all WAC.
Yep.
So far, I think he's not played as well as he's capable of playing.
It's a different role for him this year. As you see Dante, nice corner shot. That was a very well executed inbounds play, but Just a quick point about Zach. It's a different role for him. Last year he had Holton, he had Ben, he had a couple other guys. This is a completely different role for him, even though he's still starting. He's got to take on. He's going to take on a different responsibility.
Batson has his shot blocked by Dante Williams, who just hit the three. He leads the break. Going to slide over to the corner, slow it down. Wide open for three again. Missed this one. Brunel tips it out to Davis. Shot won't go. He's fouled from behind, and I say Batson got him on the head from behind.
Yeah, I think it was a combination there. Mitch Brunel and Zach Nelson swatting that ball out right to Marcel. Yeah, I mean, it's just every possession that Marcel gets it, and that time he did a great job. You see, he didn't force the action. He saw Meyer inside step up to stop the drive, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You get fouled from behind and get to the line.
Marcel Davis, 13 points tonight. He leads the scoring attack for UVU.
And we talked about Mitch, Jim, on offense. We've got to keep our eye on Clark Rosenberg. He averages 11.5 points per game. He's a knockdown jumper there from Josh Meyer, but Rosenberg hasn't even scored. So much like Mitch will be on offense for UVU, Rosenberg will be for Chicago State.
So the two leading scorers for each of these teams, or the leading scorer rather for each of these teams, pretty much just shut down so far. Leaving it to role players. Nice play, nice feed from Zach Nelson. Dante has the shot swatted out of bounds.
Trying to catch. You see the ball comes into Zach Nelson at the high post, trying to get the overplay. You see Rosenberg way out there, trying to get Dante on the back cut.
Back to live action. Dante for three. Dante Williams lighting it up. He's got 14 points. Davis has 14. Nelson has 11.
Two quick threes from Dante.
12-point lead, largest of the game for Utah Valley. Wolverines have not trailed.
Yeah, really good drive and kick there too from Marcel. When the shot's not there for Marcel, he's dishing.
Palmer fouled on his way to the hole. Boston Gubler trying to draw the charge. Going to get called for the block instead. For Gubler, his first foul, team's first of this half. Boston, by the way, career high 5 points in that first half.
And this is a good sign for UVU. Marcel 14 points, Dante 14 points, Zach 11 points. There's a drop off after that, but a lot of what we've seen on offense is one player carrying the load. This is exactly what they need to have, multiple guys carrying the load. And if you can get Mitch coming along with that, we'll be in great shape.
Utah Valley will maintain possession. 11-point lead with 17-18 left. Wolverines setting up their offense. Gubler will take a long jumper up top. Rebound comes down to DeMacos.
And with this zone that the Wolverines are playing, they're going to have to keep an eye on DeMacos. He's hurt him from the three. He said 3 of 5. Always got to have an eye on where he is, and it looks like now they've gone to a man.
DeMacos, my goodness, what a game this kid is having. Got 20 points, 8 of 11 shooting. Jump ball called, possession arrow Utah Valley direction.
It's the same thing from DeMacos. It's that drive. He drove left hand, really nice spin move back to the basket. It's so amazing, only averages 5 points, as you said, on the season, but He's got 20 points tonight.
Marcel Davis on the turnaround, can't get it down. Chicago State on the run. Karras with it. Over to Superman. No shot for him. Karras forcing the action inside. He traveled. That'll go in the book as a turnover for Chicago State. That'll be their 5th.
Yeah, Marcel did a really nice job of fighting over the screen, and you see how he keeps his hands up. You know, the tendency there, you put your arms out, you put your forearm out. Marcel doing a great job standing straight up, forcing Karras to go through his body, and he wasn't able to do it.
Brendan Evans into the game for UVU, replaces Zach Nelson. Marcel Davis with it, double teamed.
Chicago State now trapping. We've seen so much from them tonight.
Davis blows by everybody, lays it up and in for his 16th point tonight. His career high is 21. He might break that tonight. Still got 15.5 minutes to do it. See that stat? Both teams have hit 15 shots from the floor. Twisting, turning, won't go down that time for Rosenberg. Plus his heart's still scoreless. He's 0 for 3 from the floor. Brunel for 3.
You know, the bigs for the Wolverines tonight have done a great job of reading the defense when they get the ball at the high post. We've seen a couple of shots, we've seen some drives, we've seen some skip passes, some dishes. You know, that pass was terrific. Very long bounce pass from Brendan, right on the money.
Timeout on the floor. Utah Valley with their biggest lead of the game.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential.
We compete on the field with integrity, on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
I don't think of myself as just an undergrad. Okay, so I'm a sophomore, but I'm at UVU where it's all about engaged learning. Leading a project on DNA research, I don't have to wait for grad school to get this kind of experience. As a UVU student, I guess you could say engaged learning is in my DNA.
Back to live action here at the UCCU Center. Karras trying to penetrate, and a foul on Brendan Evans, and he is just astounded. If he's in the game, they're going to call a foul on him just for breathing, I think.
And that was great defense. I don't know where the foul was.
All right, that was away from the ball. I didn't see it. I was watching the ball there. I didn't see Brendan Evans foul. Well, if we show the replay again, you'll have to walk us through it. But Utah Valley leading by 14, their biggest lead of the ball game. Again, if you joined us late, UVU looked like they're going to run away with it, 8-0. All right, here it is now. Brendan Evans wears number 20.
Brendan Evans out on the switch. Yeah, there it is. Just that right hand. You know, it's just ever so subtle of contact out near the free throw line. And watch his right hand. It gets into the chest, into the stomach of Karras here.
Good grief.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, there's been a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brendan. Poor guy. Brendan Evans called for 3 fouls. And, you know, Chicago State, we're talking about fouls. They've had 13 players foul out of games this year. They've been whistled for a lot of fouls. 470 of them coming in here. Compare that to UVU being whistled for 317. So almost 160 more fouls for Chicago State this season.
And I think that's why they rotate so many more guys.
They have to.
Yeah, you
They're
have
fouling
to.
out.
Yeah, and it's tiresome to play the defense that they try and play because they extend the pressure, they're active, they trap, they do their full court pressure, and they foul because they're so active out on the perimeter. And the interesting thing is it's the risk-reward game. You risk getting foul calls, which they get, but you also have a reward of getting the steals, and that's why they have so many steals on the year.
UVU leads by 14. Chicago State possession. Palmer missing inside. Putback won't go down for Meyer. Zach Nelson with the rebound for UVU. Nelson gives over to Gubler. Outside Davis. Mitch Brunel for three. Missed that one. Zach tried to keep it alive, but Chicago State comes away with it. Under 14 minutes left here at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley 4-3 in this building this season. A place that they have traditionally been pretty tough in. Meyer hits that one.
Here comes another type zone pressure, 1-2-2. Fall back into the 2-3.
Three-pointer, Zach Nelson, bottom. Zach's not scared to put it up from three. Launched 66 of them now this season.
He trails the play a lot of times too because he's the inbounder, so he trails that play, and that position on the court I think he really likes because he can just fall into it as he's coming down the court.
DeMarcos couldn't get a shot off there. Instead it comes from the left side, that being Sean Hill. Wolverines on the run. Brunel to the hole. There's your senior experience right there.
Yeah, I can't say enough about how the wings are running in transition. They're getting out wide. Dante's done a great job. Mitch has done a nice job. The perimeter players, when the Wolverines secure the rebound, they're out wide, and Marcel is picking them apart with those long outlet passes.
Three-pointer is good from Trayvon Palmer. Before he hit that 17-point lead for UVU was their biggest of the game.
And you gotta be on guard for those long three-point shots. Chicago State takes a lot of threes. And that's a quick way for them to get back in the game if they can hit those.
Palmer's first shot of the night. Marcel Davis. That would have been nice to finish that one off, but instead he'll shoot two free throws, fouled by Sean Hill.
And Boston, look at Boston on the paint there. Senses that Marcel's going to drive. He does a nice job of keeping Joshua Meyer up the lane, moving him up the lane, giving Marcel a little bit more space.
Sean Hill picks up his second foul, third of the half for Chicago State. Checking into the game, Darius Hamilton for the first time tonight. Boston Gubler takes a seat. Marcel Davis now 17 points. Make it 18. And UVU is already over their season average. They came in here averaging 59.3 a game. Got 61 already with still 12 minutes to play. Chicago State, meanwhile, averaging 58 points a game. Now down by 16. Jaden Jackson also checked in during that free throw timeout. Palmer lost the handle. Went off Zach Nelson. When we get back, it'll be Chicago State basketball underneath their own glass. UVU leading by 16 points here at the UCCU Center.
Talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
By 16 over Chicago State. By the way, Grand Canyon has destroyed Kansas City tonight at Grand Canyon. And, I mean, it's basically almost over in the second half. There's still 10 or 12 minutes to play there, but it's over. So if UVU holds on to win here, there will be a four-way tie in the WAC for second place behind New Mexico State. And two of those teams tied will be UVU and Kansas City. They'll play on Saturday night. So UVU needs to take care of business here for the next 11:46.
Well, and you said it. There is still a lot on the line for both teams. For both teams, there's a ton on the line, and so can't take any game lightly. You can't take any play lightly because it can mean a lot in the end.
"17 seconds on their shot clock to work with. They'll get it in. Meyer can't get it down. Darius Hamilton pulls down the rebound for UVU. Hamilton, interesting situation. Junior from San Antonio, Texas, but wow, never mind. I can't even talk about Darius when Mitch is going to light it up.
You know, again, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever it was, goes off the shot clock. Is
basket's going to count.
Yeah, Karras with a nice drive there, but that's exactly how you want to run the transition. As you see the replay here from Kurt Karras, just
Jaden Jackson called for the foul there.
Just driving down the lane line there. Back to that three. Darius got that ball, outletted it to Marcel. There was a definite miscommunication in transition for Chicago State because Mitch was wide open on the baseline.
Hamilton pulls down another rebound. Darius Hamilton, junior, San Antonio, Texas. Been injured for a lot of this season, hasn't been able to get in there many minutes. See him fighting for it there, wants to make the most of when he does get in. Coach Dick Hunsaker feels like Darius Hamilton can really help his squad down the stretch going into the WAC tournament here in another 6 weeks.
Man, you see that move that he just made, Jim? I mean, we don't see that.
Whoa, nice block. Zach Nelson with the block. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. It was the action.
Zach cut you off.
Yeah, he did. I'll take it, though. That was a great play. Just going to comment on the basket there from Darius. How physical he was on that post play. It didn't convert, but he got that ball. Here we see the replay of Zach. Terrific recovery as Trayvon Palmer trying to go with the reverse layup. Just great recovery speed there from Zach. But back to the point with Darius. You know, physical. He just backed his defender down. Got an easy shot. Love to see that physical presence inside, and that's exactly what he can bring.
Yeah, Darius, 6'8". UVU, like several teams, does not release the weights of their players. I heard rumors that the WAC is going to require that next year of all the teams. I'm not sure that's true or not. It might just be in the rumored stage at this point. Williams continues to hit the free throws. He's the #1 free throw shooter in the WAC. UVU leading 66-47. Dante's got 16 points. Trailing only Marcel Davis is 18. Charge this time on Chicago State.
We've seen Mitch match up here with Jared DeMacus. Going to see the replay. Mitch moving his feet, anticipating where the drive is going to take place. And
but
Mitch
if you're moving your feet, isn't that a foul on the defender?
I meant before the drive happened. I meant when you get a foul here on DeMacos back-to-back. But what I meant, Jim, was moving his feet when DeMacos was still standing on the perimeter.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
And here's DeMarcos. His feet are moving
yeah,
too.
Yeah, his feet are moving, but Mitch was not yet. DeMarcos was not yet driving the ball. Mitch had active feet well before. That's what I was referring to.
2 fouls on DeMarcos, by the way. 66-47, UVU's biggest lead. It's 19. And let's not forget, Chicago State had cut it to 2 back when it was 28-26. They came within 3, 33-30. Trailed at halftime 42-35, but UVU's really pushed it out here in the second half. Boston Gubler continues to add to that career high.
And a great move there from Boston with the left-hand shot. Chicago State pushing the ball in their own right. Wolverines caught a little bit off balance on the transition here. I think they get Zach Nelson with the foul on the body.
His feet were not moving.
You're going to hold that over my head,
I am.
You? Well, I might have to ask the guys for a replay so I can show you what I was talking about.
No, it won't help. I am evidently too old and too dumb to understand that whole judgment call. Your feet are moving, they're not deal. I'll just go.
I don't think that's true.
I'll go. Yeah, which part? Too old or too dumb?
Both.
Thanks. You're a nice guy. 68-49.
Perfect job of handling the trap. Boston making himself available in the middle there. A great dish off to Mitch. Another example of the bigs. The bigs have been great passers tonight, setting up their teammates.
Wow. All of a sudden, both teams looking a lot better than they did in the first half. UVU breaking the press. Marcel can't get it down. Stuck at 18 points. DeMarcos just 2 points so far here in the second half.
And Mitch has guarded him a lot. I think that's helped. And just DeMarcos hasn't been able to score, and the offense has dried up as a result of that for Chicago State. They haven't been able to find anything on offense.
Boston Gubler tracks down loose ball rebound. Gubler playing a heck of a game.
Yeah, he is.
7 points, 3 rebounds. 3 of 5 shooting for the freshman.
So Coach Hunsaker too, just tell Marcel as he was bringing that ball up, let's run a little bit of clock with the time and score situation. The Wolverines are going to get catches and try and work that clock in their favor. They don't want to get up tempo and give Chicago State life.
Zach Nelson and 1. You got 4 Utah Valley players in double figures, and now they're just going to fight it out to see who has game high. Marcel Davis has 18, but Zach right on his heels with 16. Dante was 16. Mitch up to 13 now. Boston Gubler was 7. Probably the best scoring from the starting 5 for UVU this season.
Absolutely, without question. And the only downside is the bench. Still only 2 points, but I think they'll take this. It's not usual for the Wolverines to have this little scoring.
Dante misses the 3. Chicago State with a rebound.
I think Dante's going to get subbed out here because
he missed a 3?
Well, offensive rebound, but you shoot it with 30 seconds to go, more than 30 seconds to go in the shot clock. You want to run some clock. Coach Hunsaker wanted to run some clock in that situation. But back to what we were saying, yeah, those are great numbers from the starting 5, just spectacular numbers.
Mitch Brunel pulls down another rebound. That's his 6th. Dante tried to get the alley-oop to Zach Nelson. Chicago State coming back the other way, though.
Zach has hurt his finger, Jim.
He might have hit it on the rim or the backboard.
I think he got it. What I saw a little bit on the replay, I think he might have got his hand caught in the net, but he's definitely hurting, grabbing his index finger on his right hand.
Well, he's dribbling with it. I don't know if you could hear Dick Hunsaker said, hold the ball.
Yeah, behind him, Wolverines are going to run clock here.
Under 7 minutes to play. They lead it by 19. They've led by as many as 21. Marcel Davis, shot blocked, fouled on his way to the hole. Foul called against Anthony Glover. Here's the foul and just the reach in on number 2. That's Anthony Glover. 72-53, Wolverines by 19.
Legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
UVU's hit 10 out of 20 shots here in the second half, but Chicago State struggling. Here's that replay. Is this where Zach hurt his finger?
Yeah, there it is, right in the net.
Ouch. Yeah, you can break a finger like that.
Here was the shot from Dante.
Still 30-something seconds on the shot clock after Coach Hunsaker told his team to hold the ball. That's a no-no, Dante.
One thing I like, Jim, is I think has really driven the success for UVU tonight is 22 of 46 from the field. On their 22 makes, they've had 16 of those assisted.
Wow.
That's great to see. Unselfish basketball, sharing, passing. 16 assists on 22 makes is good. And then they haven't turned the ball over. Such a point was made of Chicago State and how many steals they come up with. UVU only 5 turnovers tonight. That's been pretty good from ball handling standpoint.
Marcel Davis connects on the front end but misses the back end. He's got 19 points. Again, his career high is 21. By the way, his career high in assists is 8, and he's got 7. He's got to wonder how long some of these starters will be out there now with 6:25 to play, and UVU up by 20. Glover, long jumper won't go. Marcel Davis comes away with a rebound. It's a heck of a game. 19 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. For Marcel Davis. Just a junior. He'll be back next season as well. As will Dante Williams. As will Zach Nelson. As will Boston Gubler. Only starter they're losing, Mitch Brunel, to graduation. Jaden Jackson over to Zach Nelson for 3. Chicago State rebound. Glover misses the baseline jumper. Zach Nelson pulls down his 9th rebound. One more for a double-double to go along with those 16 points.
UVU's done a great job of tightening up their defense here. What have they given up? 18 points in the second half after giving up 35 in the first. They've really put the clamps down. What success Chicago State had in the first half, Wolverines have certainly taken that away.
Mitch Brunel. Shot clock was winding down. Jaden Jackson paddles for the rebound. Got raked across the face when he did so. Tesmer can't finish, and Wolverines come away with it. .4.5 to play. Foul going to go against Anthony Glover. It'll be his third, team's 9th of this half. 23 fouls whistled against Chicago State, 12 against Utah Valley in the game. Marcel Davis missing that one. He had 20 points against Grand Canyon in the loss. He's got 19 tonight.
Another rebound.
Got 6 rebounds.
I think from him, Jim, from his perspective, or at least me watching him, it was from the get-go. It really was. I think he set the tone really early, and he's carried on and carried that tone for the entire game.
Jaden Jackson penetrates and contact. He'll shoot a couple. 3:44 to play when we get back from this break. Jaden Jackson will be at the free throw line. UVU leading by 20.
I hate math. I can't count how many times I've heard people say that. And as a math teacher, I take it personally. So, while working on my master's at UVU, I developed ways to help kids not hate math. Does engaged learning make a difference? You do the math.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day. People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
Good gravy. Whatever that is pretty valuable. He's going to kill some. Oh, great. We didn't get to see who he killed with the chair. After all of that. Good gracious, that was loud. All right. Can I jinx Willie? Jaden Jackson free throw good. That foul, by the way, was on Johnny Griffin, his second, as we went to break. Jackson's first point tonight. Jaden Jackson, the junior transfer from Salt Lake Community College, on the board with 2 free throws. 21-point lead, matches UVU's largest. 3 won't go. It'll belong to Chicago State. Eli Robinson into the game. Alex Carr, Brendan Evans, Jaden Jackson, Marcel Davis, and now Marcel's coming out. So Marcel Davis will not get a career high tonight, but a very nice game with 19 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists.
Probably his best game as a Wolverine. I don't know if we have the turnover numbers for him, but he hasn't turned the ball over. He's his best game that I've seen him play by far. One turnover, yeah. I mean, they only have, what, 5 as a team, so.
Yeah.
Great game from Marcel.
Corey Cardwell, the walk-on, also into the game now. Riverton, Utah, senior. Corey walked on last year. Traveled with the team. Only saw action in one game last year. This year he's seen a little bit more. This is the 8th game that Corey's been in. Actually started a game.
Yeah.
Jaden Jackson.
The Wolverines work that clock down in the last 2 possessions. The Wolverines go to that 1-4 flat set where they get their offensive guy up top. And that time Chicago State made an adjustment. They brought an additional guy up almost like they were playing a 2-3 zone with 2 top defenders. And Jaden said, okay, I'll just pull up and hit the 3.
I can't tell you how many players on UVU's team have told me as I travel with the team on road trips that, you know, Jaden in practice just lights it up. He's considered the best shooter on the team, but for whatever reason in the game, things just haven't fallen for him. If that ever starts happening, they say, look out.
No, you can see it. I mean, he's got the ability to shoot and some skill off the ball as well as on the ball.
Alex Carr not able to control that one. A rare turnover for UVU, just their 6th one tonight.
You know, and haven't made a point of it for a little bit. Clark Rosenberg, leading scorer, one of the key players for the game. You know, he's got 0 points. And the other key player, Trayvon Palmer, he's only got 4 points. So focusing in, this guy's been the story.
Yeah, right there. DeMacos now 22 points.
Yeah, but the other 2 guys, you can tell the game plan was centered around those 2 with a focus on everybody, of course, but you know, those 2 definitely were taken out of the game. Luckily for Chicago State, they had DeMacos step up. Otherwise, it'd be a different story and different score. Gonna get this 1-4 flat again with Corey Cardwell up top.
Coach Tracy Dildy telling his team to back off. Corey launches the 3 as the shot clock ran out. UVU controls it. Jaden's going to put up another 3. You hit one, it's in your blood.
Absolutely. Not afraid to fire. You know, and this it's good experience for these guys, Corey and Eli. Alex Carr gets some playing time here, but you see the foul here called. They call that on Corey. I wonder if they called that. I believe they called that on Corey, not Jaden. But good game time experience here for a lot of these guys.
Oh, called it. Well, yeah, maybe. One-on-one situation. 78-56. These 2 teams will see each other again on February 28th in Chicago. That'll be the 2nd to last regular season game for Utah Valley. Just 10 games left for Utah Valley in the regular season after this one. Last minute and 10 seconds. Well, another wire-to-wire victory. They did this at home against Seattle. Their only blemish at home in the WAC is against Grand Canyon, a game that UVU just very frustrated that they lost that game. Leon Goodman losing the handle there. Turnover, Utah Valley.
And 1.
Shot won't go for Batson. And he was fouled. Darius Hamilton.
Is first.
78-59. You know, when you've got bench in there, they're trying to prove themselves. They're still playing hard. They're not trying to run out the clock, even though a coach might want them to. They want to play hard.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. You know, the players, they don't get as much playing time as others, of course. And I've been in their shoes before, and it's great experience. You cannot replicate this in practice, so this will be great experience for them. Chicago State's given these players a little bit of a hard time against the trap or against the press, so you're exactly right. This is when you want to play. This is when you make your mark with a little play, any little effort that helps. I know it'll be recognized, so both teams have players that are still playing hard.
Alex Carr, a little backcourt trouble, threw that one away. So the turnover stats aren't exactly going to tell the story. That was the 9th turnover for UVU.
Yeah, they've had 4 since in the last 3.5 minutes. Didn't have 5 entirely before that.
Another foul with 23.8 to play. So at the free throw line now, Sean Hill of Chicago State. Chicago State 13 of 15 from the free throw line tonight. You say, well, that's normally pretty good, but UVU 23 of 34 from the stripe. Wow.
I wonder if that's a season high. I don't know if you know what the season high attempt is for free throws, but I can't imagine it would be more than what they shot tonight.
78 points for UVU, their 3rd highest point output this season. And they can run out the clock if Chicago State doesn't foul it. Tracy Dildy jumps up and says no foul, no foul. So that's how this one is going to end. UVU wins it 78-62, a 16-point win for the Wolverines, who are now 8-11 on the season, 5-3 at home. Chicago State 4-18. But if you want to take a look at the WAC standings, that's the most important thing, because now UVU 3-2. Grand Canyon is about to wrap up their game with Kansas City. Both of those teams are going to be 3-2. Seattle idle tonight. They're 3-2. It's a 4-way tie for 2nd place in the WAC, and Kansas City, UMKC there, takes on Utah Valley 48 hours from now on this floor here in Orem, Utah. That's going to turn out to be a very key matchup as the season goes on. Simple to say, I think it's a must-win for Utah Valley.
Yeah, I mean,
if they're thinking of having any chance to win this thing.
Yeah, it's going to be vital. I mean, they've already beat Seattle at home. They lost to Grand Canyon at home, so I completely agree with you. You know, that game, this was a big game tonight. You know, it wasn't easy. It was a big game tonight. It's going to be a big game on Saturday. So they can't take anything lightly, because there is so much on the line and a lot left, a lot going to happen. And not to mention, we got the tournament too. So it's setting up to be a fun rest of the season for sure.
It is going to be fun. DeMacos, by the way, finishes with 22 points tonight. Only 4 in the 2nd half. But UVU, Davis 19, Williams 16, Nelson 16, Brunel 13. You see the field goals there on the 78-62 final. That's basically just domination by UVU in every category except maybe block shots.
Yeah, a couple things I thought that really led them was the starting group. You know, all but Boston in double figures scoring wise, but Boston had 7 points. He did a couple other things, many other things that were excellent. So the starters led them, and their defense, for the full 40 minutes just wore down Chicago State. They completely took the leading scorers out of it. So when you can couple that terrific performance from the starting 5, and then you put the defense that the Wolverines clamped down on, that's what won them the game tonight.
44% shooting for Utah Valley. What a game. UVU leads wire to wire. Very nicely done. Tonight's telecast produced by students from the UVU Digital Media Department. This has been a copyrighted production of Utah Valley University and the Wolverine Sports Network. Nice job, folks, up in the broadcast studio. Wolverines win this one 78-62. For Matt Peterson and our entire UVU TV production crew, I'm Jim McCullough saying good night from Orem, Utah.
This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.
To excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field.
Strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.